lastly, June Manga has a new digital release of a manga called Hana, Ikeru, Doutei-kun. My Japanese is just dang terrible. It's not even ever getting better. Hi, welcome to Fudanshi, where I share LGBTQ and BL Media through news, reviews, and good conversation. My name is Devin Randall, and today it's time for the weekly update where I share LGBTQ and BL Media news. Anything from casting announcements in Hollywood to upcoming BL games, manga, whatever, and more. So let's get talking. But actually, before we do, just a heads up, this last week, I'm sorry guys that I could not get a video up. The reason being, I actually did a stage reading of my latest play, and sadly I just couldn't get to editing the video and kind of fit that into my schedule. That said, luckily there was not a lot of LGBTQ and BL media news in this past week, so we're going to, what you guys are about to watch is actually the video that was supposed to go up last week. Just know that the news is kind of like late. Okay, so first we have a news story from Hollywood, an actual casting announcement. Starz has announced they have an upcoming comedy series titled Now Apocalypse. It's essentially a story about a bunch of young millennials exploring love, sex, and fame in Los Angeles. One of those main characters, one of the best friends of those four people or so, will be Avan Jogia's character, Ulysses. And Ulysses will end up dating Tyler Posey. Tyler Posey has been announced to be playing an incredibly charismatic and mysterious guy named Gabriel, who Ulysses will meet over a dating app, and the two will then start dating. Right now they both are credited for all 10 episodes of this new series, so that's cool and interesting, and I look forward to it. Again, it's a comedy series from Starz. It will be out sometime next year. They're just in pre-production, just done casting. Next, Iceman's getting his own solo comic again. Iceman, if you don't know, is gay now in the comics. It came out in like 2015 or so in a convoluted way of like his past self was time jumped into the present storyline, and then past Jean Grey was like, I'm reading your mind. Oh, you're gay. And he's like, what? I am? Then the present Iceman had to like accept his sexuality, and he had his own, they created his own standalone comic series to have him exploring being a superhero and also exploring being openly gay for the first time. And sadly, that comic ended just because sales were not doing well, but for some reason, they decided to do it again. The story will follow Iceman as he tries to discover who is killing off the Murlocs. The Murlocs are a group of underground mutants. Most of them have like physical changes so that then they couldn't live in everyday society, and someone is out there killing them, and so Iceman is out to figure out who the murderer is. That's all we know about the story so far. We know that it'll be coming out on September 12th, and that's about it, but still, cool. Good for Iceman. Second, sadly, a lesbian character in the new Jurassic film is, well, her sexuality isn't being pointed out. The actress who plays Dr. Zia Rodriguez, known as Daniela Pineda, has announced that yes, her character is a lesbian, but that is not being expressed just because a scene where it would have been talked about was cut for time. She said in an interview, I understand why they cut it, for sake of time. It's me and Chris Pratt, and we are in a military vehicle with all these mercenaries. I look at Chris and am like, yeah, square jaw, good bone structure, tall muscles. I don't date men, but if I did, it would be you. I would be gross. It would gross me out, but I would do it. She then adds, it was cool because it was a little insight into my character. Sadly, as she guessed, the editor ended up cutting out that scene in order to keep the time constraints of the movie. I can understand as an editor for videos like this, and also as a writer, like, okay, this doesn't specifically focus on the major stories, so it's not that necessary. But also as a queer fan of media, I also understand that, like, damn, I wish we could have gotten that scene, could have had total confirmation. It's just sad with a bunch of other films like this, like Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, that we have these LGBTQ characters, Deadpool. It's just that their sexualities are not specific towards the main story, so they don't get to be pointed out. So it's really just, you have to know these things ahead of time in order to kind of appreciate that there is an LGBT character in the story. That's it for our queer quota. Let's move on to our BL bits. First, we have a new series called, well, I don't really know what it's called because it's so many different titles. Some people are calling it Cuz You're My Boy, some people are calling it My Tea, some people are calling it My Chinese Boy. It's kind of all over the place. I'm waiting to see what official like English translators will call it, and I'll call it that. but link to the trailer in the description. Essentially, it's just about two boys who rival and fight with each other and pick on each other, and then they like fall in love. That's all I can get from the trailer. It is going to come out on June 23rd on 1/31. It is produced by GMM-TV, and it looks like it'll be okay. We'll see. Hey, Present Devin again. This is actually an extra story that I want to share with you guys. I was contacted by a Twitter user called Mistyback, who is essentially on a campaign to get more English dubbing of BL anime. Anything from Gaku in Heaven to Yuribu, which I talked about in the last weekly update, Hitorijime, My Hero, and more. Which actually, side note, in this person's campaigning, they have found out that Hitorijime, My Hero is getting an English dub through the DVD collection that is coming out soon through Sentai Filmworks. But essentially this person is contacting a bunch of anime distribution studios like Funimation, Sentai Filmworks, and so on, and just saying, hey, we want English dubbing of these yaoi or BL anime. Help us get more of that. We want it in English audio with English speaking actors. And so that person has been tweeting, emailing out to all these different companies and so on. And in addition to that, Sentai Filmworks has a survey that's up right now basically asking, hey, what anime should we dub next? And this person not only filled it out with a bunch of BL anime, but also asked other people to do it, including myself. And I'm asking you guys to do the same. Essentially, this person, Mistyback on Twitter, link in the description, is trying to get more BL anime for us English-speaking and listening viewers, and we should help out. So one, link to that survey down in the description. Here's some ideas of BL that could be dubbed in English. In addition, really just kind of check out this person's Twitter account, again, link in the description, to see all the different ways that you can help this new campaign to get English dubbing for BL anime. And lastly, June Manga has a new digital release of a manga called Hana, Ikeru, Doutei-kun. My Japanese is just dang terrible. It's not even ever getting better. Though, slight warning for problematic stuff in yaoi. This is about stepbrothers apparently, so if that's not cool with you, just a heads up. That's it for this weekly update. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about any of these news stories and more. And as always, Queer Fudanshi tries to share LGBTQ and BL media through news, reviews, and good conversation. So let's get talking. Bye. That's all we know about the story so far. We know that it'll be coming out on September. Sorry.